What's up, everybody? This is Alex Wink Inc. Michael, and here's what we're going to talk about today. Anthem. Oh, boy. I really did not want to eat all this crow because I have been an avid and staunch, stubborn Anthem supporter. This definitely is a tough one to swallow because the more and more that comes out as the weeks and days trickle by, this game is looking more and more like it could be a failure. Now, I will say that I think that people are missing the point a little bit with Anthem. But the reality of it is that they put the resources into making those physical copies. And with that was a bad investment, it looks like. So, obviously, I've kind of hesitated to go on and talk about Anthem. I didn't want to do too much because I really wanted to see how it was going to do. And I was going to have my I knew that Anthem was going to be a big release this year and that, this thing was going to be huge for EA and it was going to it had the potential to be amazing. Well, it still does, but it looks more and more like it's going to be completely terrible. With that being said, let's jump right into the news of Anthem, and I have a few things up, so we'll get into a little bit of both sides of Anthem. And today's big news, obviously, is coming from Kotaku. Anthem players say the game is shutting down and even sometimes breaking their PS4s. Now, this is no good. Now, I got to tell you, there's not a lot of cases reported yet, but this thing is just starting to come out, and it's probably going to just continue to get worse and worse and snowball into more and more. So, as always with all articles, I will link them in the description below so you can check them out yourself. But it says, it's been a rough launch for BioWare's new loot shooter, and some PlayStation 4 players are now finding that the game occasionally shuts off their system as well. When encountering a crash or game error, sometimes I get booted to the main menu or out of the game completely to the PS4 dashboard. A user who goes by the For the Masters posted on the game's subreddit, which there is a hyperlink there to the subreddit where he really goes into detail. And actually, I got to tell you, this is I typically try to avoid Reddit in some cases just because it turns into a big rant and a trolling type of issue. But this guy really does a great job of saying, hey, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I like Anthem, but here's what's happening. This is one of the better posts I've seen, which makes it even worse because it really makes me feel more inclined to believe him or her that this is really going to be an issue that is going to continue and probably just get worse and worse. It says, but twice now when trying to matchmake my PS4 has completely turned off. The rest of the thread is filled with other commenters saying the same thing has happened to them on both the standard PS4 and PS4 Pro. So it doesn't look like any PS4 is immune to this. It doesn't appear that there's been an identification as to which PS4s are bricking out. It's got to be the older models, I think, that are probably just completely going bananas because they can't run the newer software. But no one's commented yet, and as of right now, I don't believe that anybody has said anything as far as what's going on. Now, we're going to flip over to another article here on IGN. And it's a similar article, but it does go into a little bit more. It says, Anthem players allegedly experiencing PS4 shutdowns, but they claim Sony is offering refunds. Now, I don't know if that has been verified yet either, but if that's the case, that also is going to be very, very bad. They're probably working together, Anthem, EA and Sony, on how to fix this issue. With Anthem, it's kind of an interesting enigma because to me, it has some really good gameplay mechanics. There's just not enough there yet. The NPCs are incredibly done, but there's just not enough content yet. And I really hope that they fix that because this game really could be something special. But what my biggest rub with it in the community, because right away it turned into, bash Anthem, bash Anthem, bash Anthem. I feel like right out of the gate it was like this game is going to fail miserably, and then it kind of started, the sales numbers started trickling out like, hey, this game's a colossal failure. It's not selling physical copies, but the big silver lining that I thought was, well, they haven't released any digital information. And really, to me, what was Anthem's main targeted, audience, or what was Anthem's goal for EA? And what I thought people were being short-sighted about was, hey, EA released this unbelievably horrible release schedule for Anthem that it was this big convoluted chart, but there was a purpose behind that. Because I believe that Anthem was designed to drive subscriptions to Origin. That was the main reason for that convoluted release schedule. It was to drive subscriptions to Origin. I mean, the PC players got it a week early. So it really wasn't about overall sales of copies, because you could play the game for $15. The full version. You could just pay for 1 month of Origin, play the entire game for $15. So the end game, I think, is to continue to support the game heavily with probably most of the BioWare team and get this thing up and going so that more and more players get onto it, so that they obviously sign up for an Origin account and pay for the Premier service. That is what I felt like the game was. However, to everyone else's point, this is a disaster because they've invested the resources and the money and the time into making physical copies of this game for consoles, obviously because they made the game and they might as well sell it on as many platforms as they possibly can. But this is a terrible, terrible thing. And we'll flip real quick here because this is a funny article. And just check out one more article. And this is Push Square. UK sales charts, Anthem holds off new releases for another #1. Now, in this article, it's funny because it says that, you know, Anthem's the #1 selling game in the UK, which it probably is, and that's fine. So this is another, I think this is 2 weeks in a row that Anthem has outsold all these other games. But what does that mean? Well, you know, unfortunately, in this case, it's the biggest turd on the pile. So yeah, it is the shiniest turd that there is, because we'll flip to Game Rant real quick. And it says Anthem is already being discounted on Amazon. It went from $59.99 to $50.99, but there's a more glaring number in this article down here. In the United Kingdom, which it's #1 in, for instance, Anthem sold just 10% of what the first Destiny sold in its first week. That is an as apples to apples comparison as you can possibly make, and that really says everything. You know, it's definitely the shiniest turd in the #1 spot, because 10% of Destiny. Now, I know I've seen the argument, oh, well, there's a lot more digital sales now, and I'm really thinking and hoping that's the case, but you couldn't even muster a quarter of the sales. You couldn't muster a third, something to give me a little bit of hope for Anthem, because I've been hanging on to a lifeline with this game. And I will tell you, even me, being an Anthem supporter like I was, got pretty frustrated and bored with the game. I really did. I kind of got sick of it. I got sick of doing the same things. It really was do a mission, and I'm a completionist, so this game was brutal to play as a completionist because I had to go talk to everybody between each mission. Well, gosh, the missions were fun little 8 to 10 minute segments, and then it was 30, 45 minutes down the sinkhole of talking to everybody. Now, the NPCs are pretty cool, and the motion's awesome, and a couple of them are really well developed, but for the most part, some of them aren't. Some of them offer very little to contribute to the game, the atmosphere, the lore, and everything. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I nuts? Is Anthem awesome? I have a feeling no one's going to say you're an idiot. Anthem is the greatest thing ever. But that could happen. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Is this a crazy panic time, or is this real? Is this going to be a panic for Anthem over bricking PS4s, or is this going to be a real issue for EA and Anthem and could lead to the possible closure of BioWare? Or who knows what's going to happen? But please comment, subscribe, like the video. That helps me out tremendously. And I just want to say thank you all so much for all the support you've given me. It's been an incredible ride. You're going to see a lot of videos this week too. We'll probably do another AM news show. And obviously, I'll have this lighting situation fixed here probably within the next day or two. I think all my lights come in, so I'll get that going. But thank you all so much, and I will see you on the next one.